those was the days when we got to clap for the wolf, man, right there on XEROK. You remember that? X-Rock down in Juarez, Mexico, man. What a wild ride that was, man. 5 billion watts across America. Clap for the wolf, man, and then some. Well, hey, guess what? These days are pretty good, too, because now we got the Coyote Man. Yeah, and the Coyote Medicine Show worldwide here on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. HazyRadio.com. We fucking got it on, man. Watch out for us, because we are the heart, giving you the new start, baby. An energy drink for your soul, and so much, God blessed, Mo. I mean, we can't even hardly put it in a cup of coffee and serve it up, babies. But here's to you and all your loving too, and all your loving families and all your loving friends and all the hateful bastards that are after you too, man. We love them all, don't we, babies? Here we go again, man. Ooh, salute, babies, with my official Grandpa Koyote mug. Oh, my goodness. You guys all should have this one. You can be drinking right out of the top of my cowboy hat, man. It's kind of fun. It's a little spooky, though, when you know you're the one sitting there doing it and you're looking at yourself at 17 with this unshaped cowboy hat on, this cigarette these nasty little alien-looking sunglasses, and this cigarette dangling from his mouth, man, and this real fancy, ooh, God, I love that jacket, embroidered jacket, man, you know, Western-style jacket, oh, God. What a tough little punk this punk was, man. And how confusing, too, man. You know, shit. But that's like the shadow of my past hanging around there just talking to me. Says, remember what a punk-ass kid you are. How you could never really, the times when I had that picture taken. It's got quite the history to it. It's out of one of those quarter machines that gives you 4 pictures for a quarter back in the day, anyway. So say it's like 1967 or 65, it was 65, yeah, 64, somewhere in there, you know. And I just happened to be down on Olivera Street, and I thought, well, you know, I just got this new jacket, and I'm feeling pretty spiffy. I should take my picture. So I dumped a quarter in the thing and tried to look as tough as I could look because, you know, God, it was a mean world. I was surrounded by vultures and angels and shit, man. What a contrasting place it was to be there in Los Angeles in the early mid-60s. Mid-60s, yeah, not early, mid-60s, yeah. So anyway, wow, man, you know, jeez, so I bought myself a sombrero in commemoration of it too, man. Cost me $3-4 down there on Olivera Street. Hardest thing I had to do was be able to carry it with me anywhere I went, because the goddamn thing was 3 feet wide. I don't know what I was thinking, man. I was riding on the train, man. Shit, I was just killing time waiting for the train, you know. Downtown Los Angeles. What a crazy place that was then. But Olivera Street, man, was really freaking cool at the time, man, you know. And I had some great Mexican chow and pitched some pennies with a rich Canadian guy, and just, I mean, I had a hell of a time, man, you know. And finally it was time, I think it was midnight, my train was flowing out there across the Mojave, so we get out there across the hottest part of it, at least before the sun broke up in the sky. But this was June, July, you know, so the sun was breaking up pretty damn early just the same, and it's hotter than hell out there in that Mojave. Fortunately, as we got on the train, you know, I lived to tell about it. The angels delivered me to the train. I was a little bit inebriated. I mean, I was young and silly. Oh, man, 17 and naive as all get out, you know. Didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground, I'm telling you, man. Ooh, and the vultures were just primming their wings looking at me, man. Say, ooh, we got a chunk out of that thing. I didn't know what I had to offer. I didn't even know what I was, man. You know, I was just drifting through life trying to get by, you know what I mean? Well, that's what that picture symbolizes, is all that time and that great train ride across the Mojave, man. Oh my, well, I make fun of it when I say Mojave. I know it's the Mojave, but I've always called it the Mojave, you know. So you drink coffee when you're going across there, you'll frickin' melt. Always carried me a jug of ice water when I was trucking the Mojave years later, you know, because, man alive, man, this is when you lose your air conditioning. You die if you don't have a jug of ice water in the truck. And one time I'd just gotten a fresh, this is years and years after the Los Angeles thing, but these kind of memories go along because they're all tied to the Mojave, you know, the Mojave Desert. between, you know, what is that? San Bernardino, as we call it, and Las Vegas, man. That's the Mojave, you know. When you're going that direction anyway, the Mojave goes out to Needles and Yuma, Arizona, too, but that's going the other way, you know, down on 10, you know. I was going up 15 there, you know. But I was coming down at this day, man. I'm coming out of Las Vegas. I just got myself, you know, a nice big jug of ice water. God, I drank too much coffee. Had to stop at that first rest area down there by the California state line, man. Just couldn't wait any longer, man, you know. And here I am jumping up and down in the seat, and these hippie kids come to me and ask me for a drink of water, and I look at my jug and I look at them and I say, oh, what the hell, you know, we all got a right to survive, you know. And it looked like they were like, there was a broke down bus there in the rest area too, and I figured that's what they was, so I shared the water with them. And God, they blessed me and sent me on my way feeling so damn loved that I didn't even notice the heat that day, you know. And I realized as I pulled out of there, looked in my rearview mirror and didn't see the bus or them anymore either. And I figured that's what it was. Those little angels sneaking up on me, testing my temperament. They knew when it's hot, I get testy, you know. Especially when I'm driving. Get out of my way, baby. Don't cause me no difficulties today. I don't want to hurt nobody. That kind of attitude. Actually, you're so doggone worn out. You can hardly keep your eyes open. It takes some real concentrated effort to keep enough energy up to keep yourself alive, you know. And I had a couple of little secret places I found out there in the Mojave quite by accident, where there was some cold springs and some little ponds or lakes you could go dive into if nobody was looking and get yourself cooled off righteously, especially if your air conditioner broke down, which it quite often did out there in the Mojave. Those things working overtime, and they weren't so refined back in those days, you see. But that's what I think about, stuff like that. Look at that. It takes me through a whole bunch of time in the Mojave Desert and the day that it blossomed, like, you know, I mean, this is the Mojave, really. I mean, it's a rough, mean desert. It's mostly just sand, you know, and ruggedy old dormant volcanic type mountains and shit like that. Just rough everywhere you look, and mean-ass rattlesnakes and mean-ass scorpions. And if you get out there walking around in that heat, you're going to die. It doesn't take too long to dehydrate in a situation like that. You lose your way, you're done. Unless you can find a shady place to hole up like the animals and the critters do and just come out at night, and then you got all the animals and critters to deal with. So it's a mean-ass place, babies. Even the ants hate you and want to bite you and hurt you bad, man. I mean, it's that bad out there. Everybody's ornery, you know. You kind of pick up on that energy when you're passing through that land and melting down inside of your truck or your car, whatever you happen to be driving. And God, that stretch of I-15 between Barstow and Vegas, there's some of the weirdest shit you ever seen going on out there. I mean, over the years, I have seen so much on that little tiny stretch of highway, couple 100 miles, man. It's not a place you want to be too often, people, let me tell you, you know. Some of the sicker sides of humanity run that highway, and it ain't always pretty, man. But, you know, I've had some great moments out there, too, just like the time I connected with the angels down there at that little desert rest stop and shared some ice water with them. I felt pretty good about myself after that. For that, I was feeling kind of shitty, you know, so they did help me have a little improvement in attitude. And here we are going back to all of that. Just, I was talking where I was going with the one story, though, with about the day in the Mojave, is in the 80s. I think it was about 83. We had a real wet winter out there in the Mojave. It was amazing. Rain came down everywhere, you know, probably 15 inches of it, which is really, really rare out there. I mean, if they get 3 inches a year, they're doing something. Of course, that comes all in one big gully washer that drops it down inside of 10 minutes and creates all kinds of mayhem. It's that kind of country. It's rough. It's mean, you know. It's hard. But this year, man, it was kind of cool. You know, it was like April, mid-April. After all this rain, hell, there were lakes down there where there wasn't nothing but sand dunes before. That was amazing how much water was in that desert all at once. Of course, you knew it'd dry up and blow away inside of 2 weeks once the sun come out to play again, and it sure as hell was working on it, let me tell you. But God, that's when the desert blossomed, man. All these dormant flower seeds which had probably been laying there for 3 or 4 centuries now, waiting for some rain. All of a sudden they all sprouted and there was blossoms everywhere. It was a carpet of flowers for miles and miles and miles across what used to be a sandy old desert, right up over the mountains and, all around, everywhere, man. It was just incredible. I had this little Instamatic camera, man, and I couldn't help but stop and pull my old Kenworth over to the side there in a parking area, well off the road, of course, and go roaming around out there in them flowers and I think I took 3 rolls of film. Pretty expensive shit back then, but I couldn't help myself. There's the cactus flowers and all these other flowers blooming all at once, and there was nothing but a carpet of color and fragrance and pollens across that desert like you'd never seen before. Life was abundant. It was a jungle of love, man, expressed in flower form. Blossoms. Beautiful. I mean, passionate reds and purples and pinks and golds and, just as colorful as it could get. Just wild, wild, wild. You felt like Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Lion and all that out there in that poppy field. You were just dizzy with the amazing beauty and wonder of life popping up out of this harsh old desert in such a beautiful way. It was a total and complete transformation of the energy of the desert and of the landscape there too. It's like you just felt like you were Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and all the rest of it, man. You were living in an angelic realm, man, and you really were. It was pretty damned amazing, you see. So that old Mojave and I, since that old punk days when I first started out on my journeys across her, of course I'd been across her a few times already, the time I was 17, California, for some reason, always draws you down there, But I've never lived there. I've been in and out of there so much it felt like I lived there, and you got tons of friends there and shit. But wow, a lot of water running across that Mojave Desert, baby, since that little old punk at 17, That's the picture. I don't know how that picture found its way back to me, because it wasn't that long ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, there was a fire and I lost all of my pictures. All of them. I mean, those ones I'd taken out in the desert, I still had them in a box somewhere, man. I had, I could have made a coffee table book out of some of the pictures I had. There were some amazing shots of some amazing things out there, But, of course, it's all gone, and so the past along with it. I can tell stories, but I don't live there, I love it. But, that was the beginning of a long trail across that old Mojave, and guess what? I lived to tell about it 1,000 times over, baby. Like I said, been through some really weird shit out there. Used to be buddies with the flying cop out there of the CHP. Smiling Jack. We'd talk on the Citizens Band 2-way communication device all the time, man, and had a great time doing it. And he'd let you get away with running 70 out there if you weren't trying to run over nobody or nothing, weren't making a fool out of yourself, Sometimes, he'd know there'd be his buddies around, so he'd just caution us, hey, slow it down, Mr. Interstate or Mr. Kenworth or whatever, we happen to be calling ourselves, We have these Citizen Band handles, but we'll talk about that another time. That's a long story, man. But old Smiling Jack, he was cool, man, and I knew this guy for years and years. He was a regular dude out there, Ooh, and we knew some creepy ones down there in, this other little desert town. I won't even mention its name because I don't want to bring back the memories of what happened there, but let's just say it was pretty ugly and difficult for those of us to travel that road to really take. I mean, you passed through that territory, you had a lump in your throat every time you did, because it was just horrible what happened there, you know what I mean? But we live to tell about it. We're the survivors, so we're meant to carry the heart of those that don't survive, and keep that energy and their love alive and, bring it forward magically in creation right along with our own, man. That's what we do with the ancestral energies. And these probably aren't even ancestors except in a more distant way, but they're definitely cousins. Everybody is, I don't care if you're black from Africa and an Eskimo from Alaska, you're family, baby. It's big time, and those are just illusionary ways we've caused to separate ourselves so we could live in separation for a while and get to know what it felt like. Find an identity in our silly old cultures, man. Well, some people take it pretty damn serious. You know, they're the only culture. They're the only religion. They're the only this, only that. You know, I got all the money and I got all the marbles. Oh, we've been so vain, haven't we? Carly, I think I will. I think I'll let you sing that one, man. Because it's just so appropriate here on this Free Day Friday, here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Gosh, babies. You want to evoke some sweet energies, man, you got to get you one of these here Grandpa Koyote mugs from the coyoteclub.com, man, over there on thecoyoteclub.com. Yeah, because it's a well, a work of heart, man, Heart, you know. There's old Grandpa on some of his growing and exhibiting stages, you know. What a road, man. What a ride we've taken. What a great time we've had with it, too. All from such humble beginnings there. And I'd like I said, this picture just came back to me magically. Somehow my daughter or somebody had a copy of it or something. And it made its way back to me, man. Amazing, you know, because I thought I'd left my past behind me in a big way, you know. And there this old reminder is, man. So I couldn't help when somebody asked me to make this Grandpa Koyote mug for him, so I did. And, of course, that picture came to mind right away and had to be the essential beginning, because that's about the only baby picture I have of myself, and that was 17. You know? I just barely out of diapers, man. And you don't want to know how long I got nursed. Oh, my goodness. I'm kidding, of course. I'm exaggerating ever so slightly. I have to make fun of myself every now and then, you know, shit. Right along with the rest of us, I'm the biggest joke of them all, man. The cosmic clown that's always coming around and, you know, learning a lot as he finds a way to dance through life, through some of the most amazing and treacherous places, and comes out smelling like a rose, just like Mr. Magoo. I think that's what those alien sunglasses represented back in those days, was Mr. Magoo, you know, the blind man, you know, blind man feeling his way through life, but create nothing, you know, tragedy out, and out of that comes great triumph, man, you know, and the dude's just totally charmed, you know. He falls into all these odd situations, gets his head stuck in the garbage can every now and then, but there's always, you know, the person that comes to pull his head out is some rich lady that loves old Mr. Magoo and takes him home and cuddles him and stuff. You know what I mean? The dude's always coming out of it smelling like a rose. I think that's what my little dark glasses in that old 25-cent picture represent. You really could. You could put a quarter in a machine and sit down on this little bench in front of this little curtain, and it would shoot 4 pictures of you, and about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, it would kick up 4 pictures out the side. It took them that long to process it, but it was all automated. We were pretty amazed by shit like that in the 60s. God. I mean, you know, we still rode horses and shit, you know. Well, you know, they weren't our regular, well, for me they were, but for most folks they weren't their regular form of transportation, you know. I couldn't get enough of them myself, but oh well, you know, life goes on, and we just keep singing our song, and wow, man, talking about a song being sung. There's a story on this mug, man, you know, and it's quite a profound little one for me personally. You know, for others it's just going to be an energetic entertainment, but it has a special energy because of all of the history and the mystery that it represents. It really does, you know. It's a souvenir, man. All of our mugs are souvenir mugs, you know, because we want to remember all the sweet moments we've had in life, because that's what gets us through, is those sweet moments when we have visits in the physical presence from divine angels of one form or another, you know, etc., etc., etc. When we have a kinship, a relationship with a certain patch of land, you know, you and the Mojave develop a special nature and a grand respect for one another, too. It's amazing how life flows like that, you know, and well, Los Angeles even itself, man. You know, I have a special place in my heart for that city. I really do. As wild and as crazy and as corrupt as it is, man, you know. There's some special angels living there still and holding the most amazing energy there, which is why it's still kind of like the creative cradle of love, even if it is occupied by hellaciously backwards angels, man. We're helping them find the light now, ain't we, man? And they've been helping us, too, inadvertently, you know, because whatever you see yourself as, even if you see yourself as a dark propagandist, etc., you know, you're always in service to the light, and inevitably the products you produce, i.e. some movies, you know, inevitably contain that, just like the music, you know, of the day, man. It still has energies and little sonnets of music, little codes, and little unravels that nobody even knew about when they made it and put it out there. Yet, you know, that energy has been decoding us through the 50, 60 years we've been listening to the same old songs, man. And beautifully so. I couldn't believe it when I found myself pushing up into my middle 60s and still trucking for one, because I never thought I'd go back to that. And then, you know, listening to the same old songs going down the highway, and I'm going, oh my God, is this poetic harmony or what? Is this, you know, life coming full circle? And then I really, you know, of course I knew it all along, but then it really started to settle on me what had really been happening through all this time of music, which really isn't very long when compared to the length of time that life is, but, you know, 50, 60 years for a song to remain steadily popular through all of that time, and I hope not just one or two, but thousands of them, man. You know, the music of the day was the way. And, you know, I mean, these people were, even though they were screwed up, drunked up, drugged up, crazy old hippies, man, these people were total channels for the light, you know, bringing light in some of the darkest places, you know, like Los Angeles, that hadn't seen such happy faces in a long time. I mean, the devil just didn't know what to do with it, so he just let him sing and put it out there and tried to throw a little background shit in there to keep everybody's heart salted and dark. You know? Didn't work, did it? No, man. Because the music just shined too bright, and all the little secret melodies and harmonies in there that help unravel some of our genetic decoding and etc. I mean, these are energy keys, man, that help awaken and enliven your heart. That's why I've always, since the day I first even thought of being in the radio business many, many years ago, I've always wanted to have a rock and talk radio show where there was music and talk both, you know, and the sons of bitches just wouldn't let me do it. I got a talk show, you know, I'd get a rock show, but I could not have a combination thereof. And thank goodness things have mellowed out, and hazyradio.com stepped up to the plate and says, yeah, we'll help you regenerate this planet. Might as well, we got nothing else going on. Who are you little hippie hobo man? Oh, they were so kind to us. We bless them to this day. And, you know, we've all been through some pretty wild rides here in the past 3 years, haven't we, man? You know, so there's been a little stretching on everybody here, but goodness gracious. You notice now, since that strawberry moon, things are starting to smooth out for everyone, you know. Finally, I think the tempestuous side of life is calming down, finally. I think the tidal wave of love is having its effect already, you know. And we're just barely begun. Of course, we always are. It's the nature of the child in us. We're always beginning. Everything's new. And that's another thing that old picture represents on this coffee mug, that old 25-cent picture, the newness of it all. I mean, I was getting exposed to the world like you wouldn't believe, man. And I was amazed at what I was finding out there. I thought it was a whole lot calmer place than that. Oh my God, it was crazy, man. You know, and then here's this kid, but you experience everything as if it's brand new, because it is for you in this lifetime anyway. It's like remembering in a way. Because, you know, this shit's been going on since, you know, Adam and Eve, for heck's sake, you know, whatever that is, whoever they are, but since the beginning of life, man, you know, it's been going on since then. All this craziness got unleashed, and we spent eons of time trying to bring it back and try to make some sense out of it and get it into our heart and get all things in a uniform equity once again, you know, so there wouldn't be all this divisionary shit going on throughout the creation, not just the universe, but all of creation. What we do here influences everything, you know, and everyone, because we're those little particles of light from which it was begun. All of us, human beings in general, all of us as creation, of course. But humans are very special. We are the children of this universe. That universal heart created us out of its own need to be loved, and to bring itself forward in a feeling way where the full dimensional capability of feeling could be felt, could be lived. You see, because there was like limitations and restrictions on it as we lived through many of these times. The times of expansive love here are rare. They don't happen too often, and when they do, all the little demons gather around, as I call them, just all those that don't like light gather around, try to put the light out. That's crazy shit. But we've managed, through all of that, to keep our love alive. We've managed to flow in a very loving direction, though you wouldn't know it looking at the world around you, yet you see it now, don't you? It's plain as day to those that have eyes to see it. The facade is failing, babies, The hologram is blinking in and out a little bit, and you're feeling even the ground beneath us is less than stable. I mean, goodness gracious, A lot of people think that's the end of everything. Well, fuck, it's never an end. It's always a beginning, babies, but it is the beginning of something tells me I'm into something good. That kind of shit, man. Goodness gracious. You guys got the old Coyote Man wound up this morning. You start getting me to singing little tunes on the radio here. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry if I fractured anybody's eardrums. Don't sue me. I got nothing, okay? Turn it up, babies. You can take it. Oh, continuing to radiate that love from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky. Got old Grandpa Koyote spreading them wings and saying, hey, let's go fly, babies. It's that kind of day, man. We're getting it underway. A little bit of hazy skies out there, tall gray clouds drifting around. Who knows what it might do today, man. Gee whiz. Sure is gorgeous out there, though. I don't care. Whatever the weather, man. I love the sun, but whatever the weather, man, it's gorgeous wherever you are, man. And you might be sitting up there in, Yukon watching it snow over Slave Lake, And what the hey, you're at peace, man, ain't you? It's a beautiful life wherever you be, baby. Even if you're an Eskimo in Puerto Rico now and hanging out on the beach there, why not, baby? It beats hell out of walrus tusk, don't it? Maybe it don't, but it's a nice thing anyway, baby. Whew, well, it must be Free Day Friday. It must be, because I feel the expansion, I feel I feel the freedom, man. I feel the release. I think people are really getting past some old and basic and real restrictive ideas inside of themselves. I think humanity in general is starting to set itself very, very free, because a few of us are able to hold that energy. Mainly because we all have a Coyote Club mug and we can clink, clink, clink together right here, right now, and salute one another and say, here's to the family, man. The vibe tribe of love, which is what? Humanity. Cold coffee is good coffee. Any coffee is good coffee. Coffee is the energy of life in roasted bean form, man. I'm telling you, this is like Mary Jane. It's one of those magical things in life, there to prop you up and support you and get you along through the old trials and trails of life so that you can come out just right. Besides that, it's there every day to help you wake up if you need it, That's what we are here on the Coyote Medicine Show. That's, again, why we offer coffee mug on our official website, man, is because, we're the morning wake-up call. We're the coffee in your jug, man. And now we're the mug that holds the jug. Yeah, exactly, man. A jug full of coffee, These are nice 11-ounce mugs, too. These ain't wimpy little things with 6 ounces of coffee. You take 2 sips and it's gone. No. These little buggers, man, they hold some coffee. Now, you got to be a quick sipper on this stuff, man. You can get 3 gallons down before you even think about it. If and if you think about it, maybe 4 or 5 if you're totally crazy coffee nut. But I think a gallon a day is plenty. That's what I try to hold myself down to. Sometimes it's a gallon and a half, and sometimes I just, I'm so addicted, I just give up and get on the phone and call the tanker company. Say, bring it out, man. I need 10,000 gallons today, man. Wow. Really, really do. Oh, again, I'm exaggerating ever so slightly, ain't I? Oh, my. I guess we better let old Carly talk about vanity here for a bit, you know. She's so good. She's so elegant. She's so formal about it, you know. And it doesn't really come across as an accusation, but just more as a formality, a statement of fact. You're so vain. Oh, darlings, we love you so, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Don't you know, Grandpa Coyote saying, ooh, spread those things. I'm talking about wings. And let's fly, baby. You're so